Greetings. My name is Alaya, and I come to you to say just a brief thing from the viewpoint of we the people. We the people. Do you notice in that phrase, there are no individual names of each of the people? What I've come to understand is that if you give a person, a child, an infant, when they're born, a name, you're giving them something more than some word, some sound that's associated with them. It's saying this being is unique in all its expressions. Naming has power. For those of you that have ever considered any of the sacred texts, you also are aware that the power of naming is referred to throughout many of them. And in the Christian tradition that I was raised in, and Most High named it as good, named the mountain, named the oceans. There was naming happening everywhere. In our world today, there are a lot of groups of people blaming, judging, attacking other groups of people. But can you notice a group isn't a list of individual names? When we name somebody individually, let's say, here's Fenton, or here's Gertrude, suddenly it's not just a group of people that Fenton belongs to, or a group of people that Gertrude belongs to. It's Fenton, a unique being, uniquely crafted, and unique in his or her free will expression. We all have free will, and it gets lost, schmeary, as it were, when we clump people into groups. So we the people, today, I want to say, we the people whose names are, and then list all of the names of the people. And by the time we got done listing the names of any group that you might want to name, there is a way that we invite ourselves in to realize a group isn't a living, breathing entity. It's a clump of individual people, and they have individual names. For those of you who like to read or explore things, there's a book I'm rereading called The Fifth Sacred Thing. And its follow-up is The City of Refuge. I can't recommend it enough, but one of the things that is striking in this book is how naming matters. And a little part of the story is there is a man who has been raised without a name. He only had a number. And after a long part of the story, one of the wise people says, "What's your name?" And he said, "Got no name. I'm just 019, or whatever it was." As I read that the first time, I went, oh my gosh, to only have a number and not a name. After some discussion, he dares to say, "Are you going to give me a name?" A real person has a name. I don't got no name. And through the story, he's given the name River. River. And in the moment when he's given that name, he becomes somebody according to him. My invitation to you, not only to suggest that you reread The Fifth Sacred Thing in light of all that's happening in today, but you also consider the power of naming. When we hear any group, or we judge any group, We're smearing their names. We're erasing and saying all those names don't matter. It's just this group. And that's truly not what's helpful in our today world. It just isn't. What's really helpful is to consider that in any group, any company, any business that we're dealing with, it's actually filled with individual somebodies with names. We, the people, have the power to stop and say, and what is your name? Tell me your name. And honor that this person you're talking to at the gas station or the grocery store or the cable company has a particular name. This is a powerful thing. When we name, we own. Just like when you have a new puppy, what's the first thing we do? We name the puppy. When we name something, we own it. We take responsibility for it. And we acknowledge that it's not just a thing, it's a living, breathing being. So my invitation to each of you that are listening is to honor the names. Find out the names of the people that you're interacting with. Remember their names. Tell them your name. And when there's that magnetic pull to blur everything into groups, say, wait a minute. We don't need to name a group. Let's know who's in the group, an individual at a time. Names matter. Naming matters. Please, as we the people, I invite you to name all people individually as you meet them and honor them as particular somebodies, unique in their own way. Thank you for sharing this time with me. My name is Alaya, at least right now. I'm always shifting it. And Alaya means the face I wore before all mothers were born, or so I've been told. I've also been named Elizabeth and Betsy and Althea and Boo. Names matter. They carry our history and they carry our energy. Thank you for taking the time with me. And again, we, the people, we are the force of tomorrow. We are the change agents of today and tomorrow. And we can name anyone we meet as friend or foe. It's the power of naming. Thank you.